And oh, too late. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Here we go. Just going to play the intro now, and away we go. And welcome everybody to the Formula One 2024 Singapore Grand Prix. And somewhere I have a thing coming through. So if you could just amazing. Right, maybe that's it. Don't know. Okay. Anyway, we're here. It's 2024. Fabio is the host as always, and I'm just going to ask Fabio to come in there and say a little bit for me because I am getting this echo. So if you wouldn't mind, Fabio, if you could just introduce yourself for me.
Yes. So we just came out of the Singapore Grand Prix. Really boring. I mean, what can I say? Really boring race. Position track.
I'm back. I am back now. I have sorted it out, and we are now on full force. Formula One, go, go, go! 5 lights, 4 lights, 3 lights, 2 lights, out, go! Right, sorry about that, Fabio. Put you on the spot there. Anyway, no problem. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good evening, Bob. No, nobody else going to wish Bob good evening?
Bob, good evening, Bob.
Thank you very much. Famos Salubio. Silky Famos Salubio. I like that. I like that. And ooh. Hello, Missing Mod, of course. Hello, Missing Mod. Hey. Hey. Cool. So anyway, we were at Singapore. It was a fantastic Grand Prix, the likes of which I've never seen before, because it was the 18th round of the Formula One World Championship in 2024, and I hadn't seen that before. Needless to say, we're going to go through a quick race review, and when I say quick, it's probably going to be very quick. I do hope it's going to be very quick anyway. I'm going to try and speed up a little bit. Basically, here we go. Oh, that's the race result. So qualifying results were Lando Norris first place, Max Verstappen second place, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell from Mercedes third and fourth, Piastri, Hulkenberg, incredible sixth place, Fernando Alonso, well done Fernando, nice to see you back, Yuki Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc, the pastry, and Carlos Sainz, the second Ferrari driver. Okay, moving on. It was the Singapore Grand Prix, as I say. All questions were, could Norris get away first place into first corner? Yes, he could. Lewis Hamilton trying to come down the outside of Max Verstappen. Didn't quite make it. That left Max Verstappen in second place. Lewis Hamilton third. Russell fourth. And Piastri to make up positions on Hulkenberg quite early. A pretty even start across the grid. A little bit of buttering and barging, and the person that came out best from that was Leclerc. Anyway, as I say, bits of buttering and barging into the first corner, but apart from that, Piastri did very well. Lap 16, it was to be Albon, who unfortunately hit the wall and got a puncture. Very, very gentle brush against the wall, but punctured. Norris, lap 30, getting a call. I should say Verstappen getting a call to box, and Norris running on a small amount. He had a large amount of room to play with. And then lap 29, Norris just outbroke himself into one of the corners and just scraped the edge of the wall. Lap 31, Norris into the pits. Fast pit stop for Norris. He had a 30-odd second lead, or 28-second lead, I think, 22-second lead even, into the into the pit. Came out in first place, carried on. Then Piastri, who went slightly longer till lap 39, fell back behind Verstappen, but managed to get out in front of Russell and Hamilton, who had to pit early, having started on the soft tyres. Then, of course, it was just a matter of Norris bringing it home safely and calmly, professionally, like a future world champion that he possibly is, which he didn't do because he hit the wall again, just like Russell did. Unlike Russell, who took out his complete car, Norris was lucky, got away with it, just managed to scrape the wall, leave a bit of damage on his tyres, and that was pretty much that. Piastri left Piastri to come back through the field, overtake Russell and Hamilton on his hard tyre stint, which he had offset by quite a way, and it was relatively easy for him. Unfortunately, Ricciardo, who hadn't really done too much in the race, came in very late in the Grand Prix to put on some soft tyres and take the fastest lap away from what would have been a Grand Slam for Norris, potentially taking away a 1 point in the championship away from Max Verstappen and taking it for himself. There's been a few
Something's going on over there.
Hear me?
Does this sound okay? Or is it just me?
No, it sounds bad.
It sounds bad. Okay, how's that?
Oh.
1, 2.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just me then. It's probably you meant the English accent, did you?
You
Yeah,
know, you
okay.
went very strange.
No, well, I am strange. That is, I'm not going to deny that, am I? Anyway, Ricciardo, originally said by the boss of Racing Bollocks that they did it because it was it may be Ricciardo's last race, so we thought we'd give him a nice sending off present, although we don't know whether it is or not his last race. However, one of the interviewers that knows Ricciardo very well, a Western Australian gentleman, said that he'd been told by Christian Horner to pit for soft tyres to take the point away from Norris. What the truth of that is, we don't know. Either way, it led to the race results that were Norris, Verstappen, Piastri on the podium, Russell, Leclerc, a good finish, up in 5th place, Hamilton behind him due to his poor tactics, Sainz in 7th, Alonso 8th, Hulkenberg a good finish in 9th, and Perez, a star, an absolute star, making sure he got 1 point for the chase that Red Bulls are making on McLaren for the Constructors' Championship. And there is my race review. Before you go, I am just going to quickly look through. I was hoping that Perez would sacrifice his 1 point to get the fastest lap, but Ricciardo did it. Yeah, I think it's safer. It was safer that Ricciardo did it, bearing in mind Perez would probably trash the car anyway. So there we go. Every point counts for Max. Now, well, as you are about to say, Bub. Now he needs only a second place in every race to the end of the season, and Max would become world champion for the
Can I just
fourth
mention
time.
Yeah, Perez couldn't have got stolen the fastest lap away because he was in the top 10. It was
Well, he wouldn't have been if he tried to take the fastest lap, would he?
Yeah, because Ricciardo was outside the top 10, he got the fastest lap without anybody getting a point for it.
Yeah. Okay. Same difference. Okay, great. So there it is. That's my race review. Thank you very much, everybody. And over to you, Fur. Fur.
Boring.
Okay, thank you so much. And like Famos. See, I like it. Silky, Famos, and Lubio. Okay, over to you, Lubio.
Okay, well, I'll help you along with that boring comment. This was the first time the Singapore Grand Prix didn't have a safety car. It was that boring. There was so little action on the track. Nobody managed to block anything or stop the race in any sort of fashion at all. That's how dull it was. Now,
Dull. I can't remember what that is from, but I think it's Monty Python. Boy, I'm a boring. I want a new occupation. Yeah, it's the lion tamer. The guy goes in. He goes, I want a new occupation. I find it. He says, well, what's wrong with accountants? We've done a personality test, and we think the job for you is accountancy. And he goes, well, I'm already an accountant. And he goes, well, there you are then. What's wrong with that? It's so dull. It's boring, dull. Well, what do you want to be? A lion tamer. Anyway, carry on, Lucky. Over to you for the new section of the show. Informe de Colapinto.
Okay, let's start off with. Unfortunately, of course, my man Logan has logon back to the family business. By the way, that's 3 weeks in a row I've used that joke.
Yeah.
He is logon back to the family business.
Didn't work the first time, so I don't know. That's the definition of insanity, by the way.
It'll come on. It'll come soon. It'll come. Just give it time. His logon back to the family business of bribing governments for lucrative oil contracts or oil transportation contracts. So we have there is substitute Logan Sargent, who is Franco Colapinto. And Franco Colapinto really good weekend.
Sorry, I didn't get that. When you said boring, left it there. I didn't even think about it. It was Max.
Yes.
Sorry, that's really tickled me. That has really tickled me. Sorry, go ahead, Lucky. I beg your pardon.
That's okay. You just get out of your system.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good. I feel like Norris sitting on the side. Go ahead.
Okay, so substitute Logan Sargent, of course, is Franco Colapinto, and he had another good weekend in the Williams. 12th on the starting grid, qualified 12th, and was 11th in the race. There was a slight moment when his teammate accused him of dive bombing. However, that accusation was later retracted after Albon saw the video of the incident and said that there was no problems. So Colapinto, 11th in the race, still doing better than Logan Sargent. The race itself, what we're going to talk about. As Christian Horner said at the end of the race, they were taking the piss, referring, of course, to McLaren, and indeed they were. But they were taking the piss. I think it was about on lap 8, and there was just a 3-second gap between Norris and Verstappen, and team radio between him and his engineer was basically, hurry it up a little bit there if you could, and we can make a better gap. And that's exactly what he did. He just moved up another gear, if you excuse the pun, and pulled away from Verstappen at will, basically. And that was kind of what the race was. McLaren have now taken over from where Red Bull were at the start of the year. The only difference being, of course, that McLaren have 2 decent drivers, whereas Red Bull only have Max Verstappen. And that was it. Norris won the race. Verstappen second, and whoever was third and fourth, Piastri and whoever it was, Russell.
Russell,
Yeah, Russell. And that was it. What can we mention about the race? It was the 350th start for Lewis Hamilton, by the way. 350 Grand Prix start for Hamilton, which is fucking amazing. Let's be serious.
Yeah. Funnily enough, it's another interesting fact. He got to whinge more in this race than in any of his previous 349. This is probably his most whingiest race I've seen for Lewis for some years.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be in very good spirits after the race either.
No.
A bit of trouble extracting himself from the car, and that was apparently blamed on heat exhaustion. So I don't know. I don't know.
No,
is he getting old? Is Hamilton getting old? Well, let's see. Now, what I did have for you guys was actually a surprise. If you look in Discord, you will see there's a picture which should be coming through. Now, this is actually Ferrari who have decided to release an impression of Lewis's car with Ferrari next year, complete with his number on it.
Brilliant. Hang on a second. Let me just get that together. Yeah. I'll present that. There it is. Yes. Yeah. I don't think he's going to fit into that.
With Lewis's number on the side. Ready to go.
Yeah.
So that's something Lewis can look forward to next year.
Absolutely. I don't know if you remember the Kimi Raikkonen one when it first went to Alpha, and he was driving one of these type of engines or Formula One cars around. I think it was Silverstone or something in an Alfa Romeo. And I remember thinking, I can't remember what the meme I put on it was, but it was something like, Kimi's well pleased with Alfa's new upgrades.
That's a beautiful car, by the way, and
well, it's not a car; it's a model.
Yeah, it's a model of a car. It's a beautiful model of a beautiful car, and Fabio is going to tell us who it is that drove it and what it is.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No comment. Yeah. I guess that was like in the old one, so that's the pre-war, so that'll be
post-war, I think, isn't it?
Well, yeah, maybe early post-war. Maybe Nuvolari or someone like that, is it?
Yeah, I'm not even going to try and speculate because I would be lying.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll tell you, it's actually a 1955 car. And I think it actually won the Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh, okay.
Although the driver's name, I would not be able to tell you.
Okay, we'll just look that up. Go ahead, carry on.
However, it is a beautiful car. No, Fabio's impression is kind of making a mess of things for me. Something I was going to talk about. So, what else do we need to talk about?
Sorry, I now have it. Maurice Trinigant.
Okay,
Maurice Trinigant.
I've no idea.
Trintignant.
Yeah, that's what I said. That is what I said. Exactly what I said.
But without the Italian accent.
Well, I mean, I said it properly, if that's what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
French.
This is going to be brilliant. Oh my God, this is fantastic. I like this more and more. Basically, what you don't know is before the show, I said to Fabio that he would have to come over and sleep with my wife if he continued to swear. Okay, carry on.
Okay, what else happened in the race? I
I
don't
don't know. I don't know. This is too funny now. This is it.
Where was this race held? I don't even know where that is. Anyway, something happened at the race, and it's all over now. And I don't know what else to say. I'll just stay quiet until it's myth and quiz time, okay?
You can't do that. Have you finished? Is that all you need to say about the race?
I can't think of anything else that happened. No, all I
Yeah?
can think of
Okay.
is fucking Verstappen.
Normally, you've got a bit of backstory about either Ricardo or
Well, Ricardo, what's going on with this Red Bull? What's the other team's name? I can't remember. Something CVAC or something. Ricardo seems to be leaving. They formed the team members formed a quote guard of honor unquote for him as he left the circuit on Sunday as a farewell. Is it a farewell from that team, or is it a farewell from Formula One entirely? Christian Horner, garnered. Yes, I'm guilty. I'm afraid. Christian Horner seems to think and hinted that there is a quote bigger picture unquote in regards to Ricardo and Liam Lawson. Now, Liam Lawson has a quote, a section in his contract which says that if he is not part of a major team by 2025, he's allowed to leave his contract or break his contract. That's coming up. They need to get him into a seat, but who do they get rid of? Perez goes, Ricardo goes into Perez's seat, Lawson goes into the junior team. What's going to happen? I don't know. And nobody seems to be saying anything. However, I will give my personal opinion on this. It would be a shame to see Danny Ricciardo go because he is definitely the happiest guy, usually in the Formula One grid. And that's always nice to see. He never seems to take himself too seriously, which is, again, I think a good thing. And it would be a shame to see him gone. That's my take on things.
Yeah, I think, don't know exactly how old he is, but I'm
34.
reminded of, how much?
34, I think he is.
34. I'm reminded of a quote by Voltaire, who said something like, what is often mistaken but for virtue in the youth is usually for someone over 30, just a lack of energy.
Yeah, that's maybe true. But
Don't know if that's an accurate quote or not.
He doesn't seem to want to leave.
Hang on.
Bollocks.
Thank you. Oh, bollocks! He said bollocks! Darling!
Community service.
Get the lube. Oh, no.
Holy shit.
She says bollocks doesn't count because that's what she's looking forward to. Oh, damn.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on then, because we're only 24 minutes in. I can't believe how swimmingly well this is going. Firstly, this is a question from me to chat. Anybody know the car in the background, in Fabio's background? If you want to put that in chat for a quick question, you get a point for that. Also the year, preferably. I'll watch the clip, but not the full races. Thank you very much, Odin. Don't ham it up too much. Okay. Oh, hang on. Is there a website where I can go watch live streams of F1 and GT racing? No. Well, you have to watch it on Sky, probably. Or NBC cover it, do they not? In the States?
Maybe.
Thank you.
Racing,
We've got that confirmed as a
you can see
possibility.
any number of GT races live actually on YouTube. Pretty much every one of the World Sports Car races and the individual countries' championships are all streamed live.
Okay. I think you meant 19. So we got some results in. Pablo, some Ferrari, I think. No, it's not a Ferrari. In fact, Odin was correct. The answer is a Lambo Count. That's what that is. And he says 1874. Did you mean 1974? Because that's closer to the truth. Yep, thank you. He did say 19. And Fabio, what is the correct answer, please?
Yes.
See? Okay, there we go. And Odin gets a point. Thank you very much, Odin.
Yay!
Right, moving on then. There was a few other little bits and pieces behind the scenes that were going on. Just to notice that McLaren's time delta on average over the race on race pace was about 0.8 of a second, which incidentally is the same delta that Red Bull had in China, which is where they allegedly didn't remove their asymmetrical braking system. just to say it that way, so we don't get into too much trouble. Right, so let's just talk about other things that happened in the thing. Other things. Do you wish to talk about other things, Fabio?
No.
Okay. So what we're going to talk about then is the press conference. Afterwards, in the press conference, there was some testy remarks. The FIA had come down and said they did not want swearing anymore on the broadcasts. People were not to swear. Gunter Steiner came in quite quickly and registered his vote on this by saying beep, 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 beep. Those bad beep, beep, beep. So that was Gunter Steiner.
Perhaps you should tell people exactly what happened in regards to this.
You do it. You do it. Why not?
All right. I'll give it the small amount I know. On the Thursday before the race, the FIA press conference included Max Verstappen. And during the press conference, he was asked a question. And his reply was, at Baku, my car was fucked. Or my car was fucked at Baku. One of those. Now, of course, using the word fucked is not FIA approved.
Even though that's what the F stands for in the name. Ironically enough.
Well, indeed. So anyway, as a result of using this naughty word, Max Verstappen was given community service.
Yeah,
I believe a day's worth of community service. Now, Max, can I quote you for Max? I'll quote you what Max said. When you can't be yourself, you have to deal with these kinds of silly things. I'm at a stage of my career that I don't want to be dealing with all this. This all the time. It's really tiring. Of course, it's great to have success and win races, but once you've accomplished all that, winning championships and races, then you want to just have a good time as well. And his good time seems to be saying fucked in FIA press conferences. So that was Max's attitude. And he did what Fabio was doing at the moment. When he went to any further press conferences, he was either saying no comment or giving one-word answers and basically being a total twat. He was then inviting journalists to a separate Red Bull press conference where he would give proper answers to questions that were asked of him. And that's the story so far. Verstappen wants to say bad things because he's won a title in championships. The FIA doesn't want him to say naughty things, despite the fact that they are riding high on the swear fest that was Drive to Survive, including the said Gunter Steiner that Simon's mentioned. So, hypocritical? I don't know. Is Max now being a bit childish in his response to this? Fabio, what do you think?
No, I mean, I actually think it was right. You forgot to mention that Lewis labeled the FIA comment as racist because Ben Sulayem, I think, said something on the line, "We are not rappers, so
Yeah, I forgot
you
about that.
shouldn't curse." Yeah. So yeah, I think it was over the top from the FIA. On the other end, I've been to Monte Carlo yesterday, actually this morning, and I saw Max Verstappen cleaning the roads. So yeah, that's that's pretty much
So there you go.
his. Yeah,
His
yeah.
cigarette hanging out of mouth, swearing like a trooper.
Yeah. So
So
it's going on.
I'll just mention quickly. In the same press conference, the other drivers, Norris and Hamilton, were asked about it. Norris said he thought it was ridiculous, laughed about it. In fact, he couldn't stop laughing. And Hamilton said, I hope Max doesn't do it, because if I had it, I wouldn't do it. So that just goes to show you. And like Hamilton has dealt with this kind of stuff before in his career, where he's been a little too loose in press conferences, and they've tried to clip his wings. And basically, he hasn't gone as far as Max has done, but nonetheless, he came out and said in a press conference once. Someone asked him. I've repeated this several times, but someone said, "Why do you think the stewards keep giving you penalties?" And Lewis said, "I don't know. It's because I use it because I was black." That's what Ali G said, and I think he had a point. So it's not the first time that particular drivers get targeted, and I honestly thought it would go down a slightly different way. So this is not the first time that Max has impressed me, because obviously his driving is superb, but. I honestly thought he would just go, okay, that's fine. If they don't want to have any of my swearing, I'm going to carry on swearing, and they won't get any of my radio messages, right? Which is a good way to keep the radio messages private until after the race, kind of thing. So I figured he would just literally every radio message going, radio fucking check, radio fucking check.
So the best part of it was that after the press conference, I can't remember who, but somebody said if Max should be penalized for the behavior that he had in the press conference. And there is a particular rule which says that the drivers cannot disparage the FIA or stuff like that. And basically, what happened is that the FIA had to swallow it, because they issue a press release saying something on the line. Well, I mean, actually, Max showed up at the press conference. He answered, in his way, so he did nothing wrong. So they were basically calling it, and I thought that was bloody brilliant from Max.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I would have never thought he could have pulled something out like that. I don't know if it was somebody suggested it to him, or he just was just out of his mind. He just thought about it. But I thought it was the best answer ever he could have given. That was honestly brilliant.
One of the drivers said, "Oh, it's really good. He's doing a Kimi," which I thought was really nice. A call back to Kimi, just going, "Yes, yes,"
Yes.
And again, another Kimi story, of course. I think it was Murray or Martin Brundle that went up to Kimi. It was Martin Brundle that went up to Kimi backstage somewhere, or back behind the pits somewhere, and just said, "Oh, Kimi, you've just missed Pele on the grid. What were you doing? You missed Pele." And he goes, "I was having a shit."
Yeah.
That was it. End of interview.
There you go. Yeah.
Just brilliant. Bub says, no pit ladies, no V12 screamers, no swearing, no fist fights, no safety cars anymore. Is this Formula One? Lucky. Is it Formula One?
Well, listen, what's really annoying me is that Drive to Survive and its over exaggerated drama and its swearing and all the stuff that it came with has made Formula One more popular by quite a long way of recent. But yet they're complaining that Max said fucked. It's just talk about making a mountain out of a molehill. It's
yeah. Thank you for
ridiculous.
not answering the question. Okay, great. Nonetheless, that's fine. I know it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous why they keep doing this to themselves. And like they introduce safety cars because they think it's going to go. They call a safety car every 5 minutes, and yet here we are in the circuit that's had 100% safety cars every time we've raced there, and no safety cars. Why is that? Well, of course, the reason being they've changed the circuit. They have literally neutered the Singapore circuit to make it virtually as boring as Fabio indicated by giving Max-like answers at the beginning. And I can't wait to drop this damn circuit because if they keep doing this, I don't know, rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, I actually blamed Sergeant more than anything else, because if he was racing, we would have seen a safety car. But
yeah, absolutely, Logan, we miss him dearly. Yeah. Okay, Fabio. Odin says, "Are there any female F1 drivers?"
There used to be.
There was
There used
one.
to be.
What was the name, Fabio? French lady,
Leila,
right?
Leila
No,
Lombardi.
it was in Italian. Lella Lombardi.
There was also-
Lombard.
Lella Lombardi. Yeah, I think she's the only one which got a point.
half point, yeah.
She had 2 points, to be fair.
2
There
points.
was
Yeah.
another-
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was
She got
another-
very excited one day, and when she got out of the racing kit, 2 points. Okay, that's another
There
joke.
was-
Don't worry about it. No, Dean, it's too hard. There will be one day. I'm sure there will be. And we've had like test drivers. Of course, Susie Wolf did the test drive for Williams, and was only a second off the pace or something.
There was
So-
also a girl who drove, I think it was for Marussia, the girl who had the accident where the car went under the truck trailer and she lost an eye. I'm trying to remember what her name was. She was such a nice looking girl as well.
Can't remember.
Let me find that out for you. Let me check that out. I'll come
Well, I mean, if you talk about tests, I think that recently, the most recent one was, I think Danica Patrick tested at Williams, if I'm not
She
mistaken.
did. She did. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but
I think
as-
that
as
was
far-
early in her career before she actually, got any success in IndyCar as well. So
Yeah, and after she become, batshit crazy, but
no,
I think
she
that
was
the-
always batshit crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's
To be fair, that is what I fancied most about her.
well, okay. Let me rephrase that. After everybody, it was made widely popular that she was batshit crazy. Let's put it this way.
Talented though, very talented, very very talented.
yeah.
For open wheel driver.
Yeah, but as far as I remember, Lella Lombardi was the only one who scored points in the championship. So yeah.
And we got a few on the horizon potentially, like Jamie Chadwick is doing pretty well
she's good. Yeah.
in IndyCar Lights, or they call it Next these days. She's been given a great car, and she's actually managed to win a race over there in the second season. So that's quite impressive, considering those circuits are tough to race on. They're bumpy as hell. They're not like European circuits.
Yeah, but I think that as far as female drivers go, the most talented and popular one was actually driving in rallies was Michelle Mouton, for the Audi.
The rally, no, she
Yeah.
was something special.
I was-
Oh yeah.
I was in
Okay,
love
She
with
was.
let me just
I was
interrupt
in
you
love
both. Let me interrupt you both. Okay, and this is from Lucky. Lucky, go ahead.
Yeah, the picture I just put it in, that's Maria de la Gota, who was a Spanish girl who drove, I think it was for Marussia. However, she had an accident during testing at Pembrey, speed testing, a straight line testing at Pembrey. She came into the pits and the anti-stall had a glitch. She went to stop. However, the car just carried on its own and went under the back of one of the trailers car transport trailers. She had serious head injuries as a result of that. And as you can see in the second picture, she lost an eye and died, I think, about 18 months later as a result of complications from her injuries. And as you can see, she was an absolute babe, if nothing else. But I think she was probably the last sort of employed as a driver, female driver.
Hello, Sandy, by the way. Yeah, thank you for that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
What?
I don't know what happened there.
What happened?
I don't know. Don't know. Talk to us, Fabio. Now you're no longer strung by having to come over and do my wife.
Well, I mean,
Back us
the thing with drivers is that, you know, if you remember, we talked about it many years ago. If you follow the sport, you should really look at the drivers, you know, once they close their helmet, like closed shut, and they start driving. And the moment they just open up the helmet, take it off, and start talking, you know, you should switch channels, you know, that because, yeah, I mean, honestly, they're not. I mean, there are some exceptions, but they're not the best human beings you might want to hang out with. You know, if you know what I mean. They're peculiar, but you know they don't do that career because you know they're good people or you know fun people or smart people or whatever. It's because they drive blazing fast. They have reactions like you know like fucking Hawk, and yeah, and that's the beauty of the sport, and that's pretty much it. You know.
Or like a monkey, as Nicky Lauda would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's another little joke for you. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. Ricardo out for the next race. We got 4 weeks to go. Next race is, of course, a fan favourite.
I think it's 3 weeks.
4 weeks.
4, I think.
4, I think.
I thought it was a month. But
Yeah, it's on the 20th of October. So it's about 4 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
just under.
Yeah, just over. Just under. Anyway, either way, it's a fan favourite. I thought you were going to tell us the name of the circuit.
The Circuit of the Americas.
Thank you very much, Kota.
Yeah.
Great.
Kota.
Hopefully they've managed to sort out the fucking bump.
No, they won't.
Yeah, right. With all the money they've got, like spending, like building new circuits in America, they can't afford a couple of million to sort out the bump. Unbelievable. Yeah. Making Flintstone braking great again. Yeah. Hello, Missing Mod. Thank you so much for coming by. She says hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, one more thing about the race, which was again the fact that we spoke about everything but the race. You know, it shows how boring it was. Mm-hmm. There were only a couple of things which were mildly interesting, in my opinion. I mean, the first one, you know, I mean, Lewis tried with the soft tires. He obviously hoped for a safety car, but again, you know, maybe nobody told you that Sergeant wasn't driving anymore. So,
well, maybe they didn't know about the fact they nerfed the circuit. Also, just to say, Toto said after.
Well, the race, I mean, listen, they nerfed the circuit for everybody, but for Norris. I mean, Norris almost crashed his car twice. You know, so.
But he didn't. But anyway, Toto said after the race that what Mercedes decided to do is put both drivers on different strategies in the hope that if there was a safety car, one of them would win.
Yeah, which actually, you know, making different strategies was what Ferrari did with these two drivers, which actually paid up because, you know, Leclerc ended up being fifth, really close to Russell, really, really close. I think, you know, another 2 or 3 laps, it would have, you know, passed Russell. But anyway, so yeah, there was that. You know, Carlos made a good, you know, was a good teammate. He let him pass immediately because, you know, again, Charles was a different strategy. And yeah, I mean, it started from ninth, it got fifth, so 4 positions. They succeeded. And the other thing is that they were really, I mean, the qualifiers for Ferrari were really, I mean, crap. And it was a shame because if you look at the pace of the car, if you just scratch the first part where Charles was basically behind Alonso and I think Colapinto, I think it was. The pace of the Ferrari in the race was as fast as the McLaren's, so it might have been a way more interesting race. But
yeah, no, on the yellow tires they were as fast.
Yes.
In fact, they were the fastest, I think, Ferrari.
Yeah.
Very close, but basically the fastest. But on the hard tires, they were significantly slower.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to consider also the kind of track. As we said, it's very positional. So if they got in a different position, you never know what would have happened. I mean, still, I mean, they were a fast car. So the other thing which happened, and that's really all that was in the race, was the wing thing, which again it was another thing which was quite ridiculous from FIA. They said that the teams, especially McLaren, they had to change the wing, but the wing was regular in Baku, which I mean, it's kind of weird if you think about it, because as we said, the wing is either regular or not, or not. So it passes the test and all that stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's the FIA. It's really, really strange. It's
Well, they didn't even do a TD, did they? A technical directive, right? They didn't issue a technical directive. They literally just said to McLaren, "No, we don't want you to use that." And McLaren went, "Oh yeah, well we're not going to use it anyway here because you put an extra fucking DRS zone in anyway, so there's no point in using it."
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what's the equivalent, for the FIA of a dead horse in the bed, but apparently they did something like that. And they just suggested in a way that they couldn't say no. I have no fucking idea. So yeah. But
they probably said that they would report McLaren as rappers or something if they. They did it. I don't know. I can't believe Ben Salim said something like that. I mean, he's such an idiot. I mean, how did he get the job in the first place? I mean, we went through the phase. We had a discussion on this very channel, on this very program about Ben Salim and how he was never going to be able to replace the old guy because nobody knew who the fuck he was. But of course, that's not how he got it.
So here's the thing. It's in a more general point. Those kind of things have always happened, right? I mean, flexible wings. I remember flexible wings. I think that the first team to make something flexible was Ferrari in '96. Okay, so it is something which has always existed. First of all, the second thing is that I don't understand why people is making such a fuss about it. This is the history of the F1. The FIA has, at best, to my knowledge, I think they have something on the line of 15 to 20 engineers, which are devoted to writing the rules and checking the thing. Every team has at least, worst case scenario, let's take Sauber, the bottom of the pit. They have at least 150 engineers. And I'm not even talking about Mercedes or Ferrari, where those numbers are 10 times that. They probably have 150 engineers for every single part of the car, and maybe more. And by part, I mean the wheel, right? So it has always been an unfair battle, and those things have always happened. So if somebody finds, a loophole or an exploit, the manly thing to do is to suck it up, and that's it. There is no way around it. They will always prevail. It's just the sheer number of people dedicated to finding where you fucked it up in the rules. It's apples and oranges. It's David against Goliath. It's just two different things. It doesn't. It can't be solved.
Well,
right?
I agree with that in general. Of course, in the past, there was no such thing as the cost cap, and all that would happen is somebody would turn up at the race with a new part. Everybody would photograph the shit out of it, and by the next race, they would have duplicated it. So, there was very little to be gained by spending a lot of money during the season on new parts, right? Now, that kind of changed, I don't know, about 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. And up to 2009, I think, when Jensen Button won that famous season where they had the double diffuser, right? Which, of course, couldn't be replicated. In fact, no, it goes back further. Do you remember the air duct? What did they call it? A D duct or something like that?
the F duct. Yeah.
F duct. Yeah. So that was built into the chassis. And of course, it's halfway through the season, the team can't suddenly build a new chassis.
Right.
Because it has to go through crash tests, etc., etc.
Right.
Same with the steering wheel thing that Mercedes did.
Yeah.
Right. So, those kind of things, right, the FIA can do very little about.
Yeah.
If we go back to the 90s, right, and I've harked on this many times, when the cheating team Ferrari had front wheel covers, right? They called brake covers, which they were using to heat the front wheel, and also it was an aerodynamic device. Heating the front wheel was perfectly legal then. Having an aerodynamic advantage on a front wheel was not. And of course, people complained to the FIA straight away in the first, second race of the season. They were illegal. The FIA said no, they're not illegal.
No. You're wrong there. They were not illegal.
Yeah, they weren't. They said they weren't illegal. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were declared not illegal.
Yeah.
I think I'm right there. Yeah.
Yeah. They were. Yeah.
But when race 6 or 7 came around, right, halfway through the season, basically Ferrari stopped. They didn't stop using them. What happened? The FIA said we are going to ban these next season. Yeah. Because they are illegal.
Well, they were going to be illegal next season. Yes. I mean, there is a huge difference, and the same thing
The reason I know this is because other teams have got the data from Ferrari, as we now know, and they were shown to have an aerodynamic advantage, which was against the rules. So the teams had originally said they were illegal for different reasons, and then halfway through the season, it was proved that they were aerodynamically advantageous, and part of them was designed to be aerodynamically advantageous.
Yeah,
and that's why they got banned.
Yeah, but again, you're just proving my point.
Thank you.
You're just proving my point, because in that instance, that device was not illegal. The FIA deemed that it was not illegal.
Yes, that's what they deemed. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
So it's not illegal. And who proved that eventually there was an advantage? It was the FIA, because they don't have the sheer power to go through all their data. Other teams had to make that point and actually prove it, which it doesn't exist. But even then, the FIA said, okay. But even then, the FIA said, "Oh, we're gonna ban them from the next season, because regardless of what you say, they're still legal." And that's what I was saying before.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. And this is the nature of it. This is exactly. I'm just trying to emphasize your point that you made earlier about this idea of how the FIA operates. That once somebody comes up with a bend in the rules, right? The FIA very rarely say outright ban it. It's usually up to the other teams just to copy it and get on with it, unless they can't, right? The only exception that I can think of is that Red Bull season, where it was about race 4 or 5 in the season, that their Red Bull's flexible wings were banned. And the reason they were banned outright, and Red Bull were told you cannot use these wings anymore, is because pieces potentially were the flexible wings weren't such an art that they are now, and they were still they were very brittle, and so they used to break and leave little shards of carbon fiber on the circuit, which meant drivers could pick up punctures and have quite serious accidents. So they were deemed to be unsafe to use on the racing car, and that was the reason they were banned, not because they were bendy.
Right. I mean, it fell into the general rule that you got to have, a safe car and blah blah blah, whatever. The car has got to be safe. So again, it's weird, but this is something which has always happened. But this thing with the wing,
I've just got to put someone backstage for a moment. Go ahead.
Yeah, but this thing with the wings, it's to me, it's I can't remember of a single instance where they say no, it's legal, but you better not do it, and they eventually didn't do that. I mean, that is mental. I can't think of anything happened before. So which I mean, I guess it's in the same category as saying fuck on the radio. It's
absolutely. Okay, that's great. I mean, Lucky. I want to bring Lucky in because he's not said too much, and he's getting bored. Clearly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lucky. Entertain us.
Put it on the big screen.
No.
Okay, Lucky. Entertain everybody, please.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm going to mute up. Fabio's muted. Go ahead.
Right. Forget your fucking bendy wings, you two. We're going to talk about something serious or semi-serious. Simon, are we okay to play that short bit of the video when you're ready?
Maybe.
Okay, let me just set the scene here. You may have heard of a couple of people called David Coulthard and Eddie Irvine, who were background guys in Formula One. They decided to copy us and have a Formula One podcast. Now, recently on their Formula One podcast, they had Ralph Schumacher. And Fabio is going to play you a small clip of a question that Eddie Jordan asks Ralph Schumacher. Now, just to set the scene, they were talking about teammates, Ralph Schumacher's teammates in Formula One. And Eddie Jordan decided to ask Ralph Schumacher how he would have felt about being teammates with David Coulthard. So, Simon Austin, you hit play button at 3 or whatever it was. You'll hear the question that Eddie Jordan asks Ralph Schumacher.
Would you have liked to have driven with Coulthard? Would you have liked Coulthard to be your teammate? Could you have easily blown him off, so to speak? Sorry.
What a question.
If you can stop it there. Now, Ralph Schumacher in July this year took the extremely brave step of coming out as gay. I don't know if there's any other Formula One drivers who have taken that step and come out as homosexual. However, Ralph Schumacher did that. Unbeknownst to Eddie Jordan, who had just asked him if he would have blown off David Coulthard. Oops. Eddie Jordan, if there's a way to put your foot in it, Eddie Jordan can do it.
Yeah, very true.
On a slightly serious note.
No, sorry, let me give a slightly serious note. Slightly seriously, David Coulthard is a bit of a Chad, though, so I wouldn't. I would.
He's not my type, to be honest. What about you, Fab? Would you go for David Coulthard?
No, I personally really despise David Coulthard I'm dead serious. For personal reason. After the Senna accident at the trial, it was he was called at the bench, and he just uttered a load of bullshit, which was eventually proven to be wrong. And to me, that was it. You know, I'm sorry for the guy. Maybe he's the best person ever in the world, but that to me, I mean, this is where I drew the line and said, okay, you can roll in a pile of shit and go there. I'm not interested in David Coulthard at all.
I think, to be fair, that Coulthard was basically doing what he was told by Williams at that point in time, and being a young
guy, you know what reminds me, the Nuremberg trial, what the the Nazi was on trial, and they say, oh, I was just following orders, that doesn't excuse me at all. But anyway,
what did it for me, and I thought this would be the reason for you, Fabio, was that he crashed on the warm-up lap twice at Monza. And that, to me, in the best car, the all-dancing, all-conquering best car that Williams ever built, he decided that he couldn't drive it around the warm-up lap.
I mean, honestly, he might have won 15 world championships. It's not.
Let's just say that David Coulthard was in the position of being handed the keys to a championship-winning Williams, and Williams told him to say what he said. And do you think he was going to give up the keys to the championship-winning Williams? He would have been a fool if he did.
Yeah, absolutely. At the time, there was, and I have to say this about it. At the time, there was a lot of speculation in the Italian press about what actually caused the crash itself, and a lot of people were pointing fingers at the shoddy workmanship and engineering of Williams, which in some respects was true because it was the actual steering column which was faulty. But I don't think it was because it was badly engineered. It's because it was badly manufactured. And that's a different thing. Those two things are different. Well, so I think that there was some kind of pressure because there was another case, wasn't there, where somebody died. A driver caused an accident at Monza, and I think it was Graham Hill actually, and he couldn't go back to Italy.
No, it's Jim Clark.
It was Jim Clark. Yes, it was Jim Clark. I beg your pardon. He couldn't go back to Italy because he was going to be arrested, and it actually took a lot of legal finessing to allow him to race there again. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Senna goes, they modified the steering column because the car was really tight. He couldn't drive properly, so they apparently made a modification on his car. They reduced the section of a pipe and stuff like that, but that is not the reason. What? If I remember correctly, they asked David Coulthard about the fact if there was some kind of steering assistance and stuff like that, and he said no, like blatantly, and that proved to be wrong. And again, I'm not blaming personally the guy. I just don't have a lot of consideration. Just remember what I said before about drivers, and it wasn't that serious. They're good up until the point they close the helmet and the drive. That's all I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And and that to me, it's another case which kind of proved that point. That the moment they speak, So
fair enough.
I think the worst thing they did was when they took Coulthard and manipulating the steering wheel of one of the Williams, which was parked from the outside, and showed that the steering column apparently did go up and down. However, it was painfully obvious that when he pulled the steering wheel up, he was just about lifting the whole car up at the same time. So something was going to bend, and it was the steering. I think that was unfortunate that they did that to try and avert blame from themselves. But we've come away from the whole point I was trying to make, which was Ralf Schumacher, a firm favourite in Formula One in his time, came out as gay earlier this year. So well done to Ralf Schumacher for doing that.
Yeah. And also, Go ahead.
Sorry, really quickly, talking about the Schumachers, there was a really nice snippet that I read from Ricciardo recently, and it says at the beginning of his career, I think it was one of his first races, and he had Michael Schumacher on his tail. I can't remember which race. And it was just at the beginning of his career, and he grew up with Schumacher, right? I mean, that was the GOAT. Maybe still now, yeah, but obviously at the time. And I think at the time Schumacher was driving was the time where he was back with the Mercedes. So, well, lo and behold, he managed not to have Schumacher overtake him, for some laps or whatever. And at the end of it, Michael, went to Richard and said, "Yeah, you made a really good job in not allowing me to pass over there. Good job." And Richard said, "Yeah, I mean, when I remember that, I still have goosebumps, remembering Michael Schumacher talking to me in that way." So yeah.
Yeah, I think that might have been. I was going to say Adelaide. That's how old I am. Melbourne. His very first.
Yeah,
race.
maybe
He
you're
was
right.
absolutely stunning in his first race.
Yeah.
He really was. Anyway, there you go. Good times. Okay, I think we're done. We've managed to get to 106 again, unfortunately, despite the fact we had a blistering start away from the line.
Yeah.
Our reaction times were Bottas-like, for those that know that reference. However, I think it's now time for the last section of the race. Is it a myth? Is it a quiz? Is it a quiz? Or is it a myth? Is it a myth or a quiz? Or is it a myth? It's a myth and a quiz. Over to you, Lucky.
Okay, well, let's see how long things take. I was going to go with 2 questions. There's going to be, if I go with 2 questions, we're going to have 4 points up for grabs today. So everything to play for again. Currently, the field is evenly spread out. Fabio is in the lead with 10. Simos is 3 behind with 7. Bob's 3 behind with 4. And Avantman, who I'm not sure is here, is behind 3 points behind him on 1. Now, gentlemen, a short view back to the past. No, sorry. Do my Nicky Lauda there. Okay. In 1988, McLaren blitzed the Formula One year with Prost, Senna, and their MP44 car. They won 15 out of the 16 races.
Yeah.
However, they didn't win 1 race. Now, I want
See, now it's normally me. It's normally me that does that, but now Fabio got excited. Got too excited, Fabio.
No.
Go ahead. Is he right, by the way?
They didn't win 1 race, despite the fact that Senna was leading that race and miles ahead at the time.
Yeah.
However, that race, I want to know what race it was. I want to know the driver who took out Senna, and I want to know what kind of car he was driving. And you get a point for each answer. Okay? So,
I think both me.
He's
I
behind.
think both me and Simons know the race, but we can't agree on that, Simons.
I'm not sure I know, actually, to be honest. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to let you go for this.
I
can't remember exactly. I thought it was like the obvious one, but
it was kind of the obvious one.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hint. It was kind of the obvious.
I thought it was Monaco.
No.
It wasn't Monaco. Okay.
No. Okay, scratch that because I want to be a sports. So Simons, I'll give you a hint that Lucky didn't. It was shortly after Enzo Ferrari passed.
That's not much of a hint because I can't remember that either. But was it? Well, I mean, Imola, maybe San Marino Grand Prix.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't remember. I just can't remember.
I gave all the chat because listen, I don't remember. I don't know the other answers, so I can answer that one.
Okay.
The race was Monza. It was the race after Enzo Ferrari passed away.
And Ferrari won.
I think that the Ferrari drivers were, I think they were Alesi and Berger, if I'm not wrong.
think that sounds-
Oh, 88. That was the year before Mansell. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
And
you're right.
but I can't remember. So it's funny because I think that Prost broke his engine. That's the reason why he went out. But I remember incorrectly, now that you say that also Senna broke his engine, but now you said it was taken away by somebody.
No.
So I don't know who took it away. So I'll just pass it to Simos and we can go
I can
back and forth.
only guess again. I mean, maybe it was a Tolman. 88. Did we Tolman still driving then? I didn't think they were.
No, there wasn't Coleman's.
Maybe
then.
I'm thinking of a different
I
different driver
think,
that got taken out. Oh, I'm thinking of the Hockenheim one. I think it was Piquet that was taken out. Sorry. That's why I was getting confused, because I'm confusing with Piquet.
Okay, so I'll give it a shot. I'll say Brabham Patrese.
No, that's actually a very good guess, but it wasn't Brabham Patrese, no. Simons,
Yeah.
you should know this because it's your favourite.
Okay, it was a Williams then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get 1 point at least.
Okay.
88. Oh,
Okay, listen. I mean, I'm not complaining, but just tell him, give him the answer. At least I tried to be subtle, you know. The race after Enzo Ferrari died. Yeah. Oh, it's a favorite team of all times. Yeah. Okay. Jesus Christ. Man.
okay, and the driver in 88.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be either Mansell or I think Mansell was red 5 or Patrese. Or no.
Well, listen,
Okay.
Simos.
PK?
I'd give you. PK, you said no.
Well, I think that was the Williams lineup.
Well, it wasn't
Mansell.
Patrese because he would have said it was Patrese because I said Patrese.
I say PK. Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead. I mean, tell us who it is.
It's actually it's quite a difficult one to remember. It was Jean-Louis Schlesser.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
Schlesser.
Never would have got that.
Schlesser, yeah.
That was
He
difficult. I
drove
must admit.
Williams that year, did he?
He was driving with Williams. I can't remember. Somebody wasn't well. I think it was maybe Piquet wasn't well. He had to crash.
Oh, really?
Oh, I think. Okay, so maybe I know why Piquet wasn't driving. Oh, maybe I'm confusing.
He crashed at Tamburello, remember? That might have been... No, maybe...
Are you sure it was a racing accident?
Yeah, it was at the chicane, the first or the second chicane.
No, but yeah. Well, so are you talking about... So are you sure that Piquet wasn't there because of a racing accident?
Oh, no, I'm always speculating there. But Schlesser
Because...
at one of the chicanes.
Okay, I'm going on a wild tangent here, but I know for a fact that Piquet didn't drive some races, but I can't remember if it was 88, because he broke his arm while being in a shipyard inspecting his new yacht being built.
Okay, here we go. I've got it here. Mansell was forced to miss Belgium and Italian races because of chickenpox. And he was substituted by Martin Brundle and Jean-Louis Schlesser consecutively.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Schlesser,
why that was difficult.
Okay,
that was his only race. His only race, Schlesser's only race was that race.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God.
I mean, the story about Piquet, maybe he was driving for Brabham, but the story about Piquet breaking his arm, while inspecting, his yacht to the shipyard is true. But I just have to figure out when. But yeah, it is true. And the reason I know that is because it happened, where I live. So that was a big story over there. He just
Fair
fell
enough.
from a scaffolding and he just broke his arm.
Sorry, bub. Sorry, bub. It got us all, bub. Really did.
Yeah.
At least I got it. At least when you said Williams, I actually did remember the two drivers, even though it was the wrong driver, because there were 4 drivers for Williams that year, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and chickenpox. Yeah. Okay.
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 You're both getting a point for that.
Thank you.
We have one further question.
Mm.
Okay. Apart from Monaco, which current Formula One track, has the shortest straight? And I'm going to give you a clue.
Okay.
You both played Grand Prix Legends. Now, when I remember playing Grand Prix Legends, when you went to this track and went round the flat-out section through the forest, it was like a fucking hour to go round that really long corner.
You say it's a current Formula One circuit?
Yes, indeed. So, Grand Prix Legends, you went onto the straight and you would slipstream a car, and it would, and you'd pass it, and it would slipstream you and pass you, and then three other cars would pass you in a slipstream.
Right. Well, Hockenheim, obviously, right?
You got it. Well done.
Yeah. But that's not a current Formula One circuit, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Well, I mean, not the current layout.
Well, no.
But
When did they go to Hockenheim?
Well, no, it's not current, by the way. Yeah, they haven't been racing in Germany for years, I
For
think.
years, this Hockenheim. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they went to Austria, didn't they?
This year. That's
Yeah.
right.
They replaced it. It used to be called the European Grand Prix
Yeah.
back in the day when they shortened Hockenheim. By the way, my favourite circuit of all time. I used to really love them getting to Hockenheim.
Yeah, the old one.
Yeah, the old Hockenheim circuit.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see races there.
You put in
Even
a
if
couple
it
of
was
chicanes.
grainy as hell.
Yeah, they put in a couple of chicanes on that flat out bit through the forest laterally before they shortened the circuit down, if you remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There were two chicanes. There is a fantastic race with motorcycles over there, with Kevin Schwantz overtaking. I think I can't remember if it was a Mamola or Duan. The bike all over the fucking place. Yeah. It was good.
Do I get a point for that?
You certainly do.
Oh,
Absolutely.
fantastic!
Indeed.
Yeah.
I didn't even. Yeah.
Yes. If you remember
That was the race that I was confusing them, because somebody, and I think it was PK, was passing somebody in the first chicane.
Yes.
And a back marker literally just ran him into the back of it.
Yes.
And they
Yeah.
both got out and had a fight at the side of the road.
Yes. Yeah.
Senna and Prost had a bit of a to do one of the first chicane. I think it was the first chicane as well. Prost in the Ferrari, Senna in the McLaren, and Prost ended up going straight on at the chicane because basically Senna didn't let him turn into the corner.
Yes. I think that was actually the second one, because they actually changed it. It's the downhill one. And they changed the circuit, so there was two ways you could go through. You could go through the really slow chicane, which is what they were trying to do, is slow the cars down. Or you could just take the old road, the old chicane, which was just more of a turn. Yeah. Great times.
Yeah, but the one you thought, I can't remember the Prost Senna one, but without any doubt, the Piquet and the other guy one was before the Motordrome, so it was the last one.
Alessio Salazar was the guy.
And also, just to point this out as well, do you remember the last race they had at Hockenheim? I think it was. It rained. Now, and where the drag strip was, like, there was so much. I mean, there was literally just so much rubber on the track with the rain on top of it. As soon as someone put a wheel off the track and it went onto this rubber area, they literally that's it. They were in the wall. And there was one driver that managed to not crash into the wall, having gone off at that corner. And for a point, Fabio, do you know who that was?
I was Sebastian.
No, I know. It was Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
He's the only driver that didn't actually hit the wall. Sebastian got away with it, but he did hit the wall still.
But didn't Leclerc not get away with it as well?
Who?
Charles Leclerc.
No, I don't think Leclerc was racing then.
Yeah. I don't think he never raced at Hockenheim, Leclerc.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
This was right, like really early in Hamilton's career, like
Yeah.
I don't know, 2000. I think it might have been the
yeah.
first year, in fact, 2008.
Yeah, it was driving.
All right.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
not
driving a
far back.
McLaren. So yeah.
Yeah, it was.
There was a wet race at Hockenheim just a couple of years, well, not a couple of years ago. Certainly while Leclerc was at Ferrari, and they all went off. That was the race that Hamilton messed up the pit stop. They told him to come in, and then they told him not to come in. And he
Are you
crossed
sure
the line.
about it? I mean,
But I'll tell you, the old Hockenheim circuit with the section through the trees was a nightmare because if there'd been rain, the section through the forest would stay wet. It wouldn't dry out because the tree cover. And then the rest of the circuit would be bone dry. And these guys are going through this forest section on dry weather tires, and it was really, really dangerous. And that's one of the reasons that they got rid of that and made the whole thing more spectator friendly.
Anyway, I can't be bothered. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. If there's anything else you'd like to add?
Well, let's just say at the end of the 18th round of the F1 Trivia Intercontinental Championship, Fab's still ahead, but the gap's been reduced to 2 points. So it's 11-9, Bob 4, Avant 1.
Yeah. How many has Bob got?
Bob's got 4.
4. And we've got a new person on the board, which is Odin, who also has 1 point.
Why would that be?
Right,
Oh,
that
because
is
it's Fantash, of course, yeah.
because he got a question right. So, look, thank you so much. Thank you, Bob, as always. Very much appreciated the questions and the participation. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will see you in 1 month's time, roughly, for the next Grand Prix, which, of course, is going to be COTA, American Grand Prix.
yes.
And hopefully Fabio will have his wicked tongue under control and my wife will be very satisfied.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.